Hello and welcome, guys. Thank you for joining me again for another night of Facebook Live. Also, I want to recognize those that join me on the replay from YouTube and or SoundCloud. It is indeed a blessing to be here with you tonight, as I appreciate you taking the time out and sacrificing being up with me, as tonight we are going to talk about finding a different formula. I am your host, Tricia Bray Smith, author, educator, and public speaker. As you are logging on with me tonight, please go ahead and like and share this video. Again, go ahead and like and share this video as you're logging on to be here with me tonight, as it keeps the video circulating and also allows those that are on your timeline to join in on the discussion with us as well. So I do hope that each of you guys have had a great day, a productive day. I have today tried new things and have experienced new experiences, and I tell you that it has taken some adjustments, and it has taken things that I know, formulas that I have used, and applying it to the new demands that are required of our businesses and that are required of our time in today's changing world and changing society. So that's what I wanted to share with you tonight, is just to think about finding a new formula. Now, when we have recipes and we're using these recipes that have been handed down from generation to generation, when we tweak it, we begin to make it our own. So maybe instead of using one spice, we substitute that spice for another that we have on hand. And we realize that that spice gave that dish just a little bit more flavor, or it tastes just a little bit better. So all we did was change the formula just a little bit. Doesn't mean that we have to go and redo everything, but tweaking it just a little bit sometimes make things just a little more sweeter, or sometimes make things just a little bit better for our life. So this is what we really need to think about with the changes that are going on, with new requirements in our businesses and the way we do business, and taking that pivot or that shift, as I begin to hear people call it, as I stream through their timelines from day to day. So finding a new formula. What is it that you have now been forced into, or what is it now that has worked for you in the past that is no longer working as effectively as it could be, because of the demands and because of the way that our world and our society is changing? People are changing the way they do business. People are changing the way they interact with us. People are changing the way that they communicate with each other. People are just changing and adjusting to the times, to the demands of our world, and to the demands of our society. Thank you for logging on and being here with me. I see somebody logging on. Good evening to you. I appreciate you being here. Feel free to leave me a comment or question in the comment section. We're talking tonight about finding a different formula, and it's about making little adjustments in what we have already did, or what we've already done, and making that adjustment so that it's beneficial for us in the changing world and in our changing society. So this is a lot of what I've had to do when I think about my business, and when I think about the things that I do now, from moving from a classroom setting to an online or virtual setting, but still offering a quality education to people, making it accessible, and trying different strategies to get what I do or what I have to offer in front of my audience or in front of the people that can benefit from it most. And it is an awesome thing. It was something that I had been reluctant to for so long. You know, when you condition to being traditional classroom teacher, or when you're used to and prefer standing in front of a classroom rather than in front of a computer, we can be reluctant and hesitant to try new things because we're not as comfortable with those things as we are the traditional things. So I encourage you to look at how you are conducting business. I encourage you to consider the benefits of making little tweaks in the formulas that you already use and redefining it into something greater, because it can be great. There were a limited amount of people that could access my services being on a on-site facility, being in a area to where you can only get it from being in that classroom. Now we're taking that same thing that I do and bringing it virtually in front of you. What I do now comes to wherever you are. So it allows me to have more flexibility, but it also allows you to have more accessibility to the number of things that we have going on. So all it takes is not redoing the whole thing. We're not trying to make over grandma's recipe. We're just tweaking it just a little bit, because we find that if we add a little more of this and a little less of that into the recipe, it tends to taste just a little bit better. So I hope that you guys are not getting discouraged in the changes that continue to happen. I hope that you are finding comfort in knowing that there's more than one way to do things. And when you find yourself doing things the same way for so long, but you're expecting a different outcome, sometimes we really have to look at the formula we're using, make those necessary adjustments, and be willing to just take the risk. So I appreciate you guys joining me tonight. I didn't want to hold you long. I appreciate you sacrificing the time to be here with me. And I also want to challenge you to look at the formula and try to think of what you can do to make those minimal adjustments to just look at a different formula and make it work for you in the demands that are required of you in today's time. I appreciate you guys being here with me tonight. I encourage you to keep pressing, keep being creative and thinking up new ideas so that you can keep pressing forward, growing and expanding in our changing society. I am your host, Tricia Brace Smith, author, educator, and public speaker. I'll meet you here again tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Good night, everybody.